OMG, we're live. Woo! So for those of you that are starting to tune in, this is our brand new show called Women That Shred. And we're going to be here, or at least I'm going to be here every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern live. I know that we're streaming on multiple platforms, but I'm so excited because, this is our first. And I love that I have my girl Dalila Ramos as my first guest. Hey, Dalila, and I purposely am not going to say a title or anything because the whole premise of this show is to showcase women and show that they're multidimensional. Yes, we're in the mortgage industry, but there's so much more to us. So, Dalila, welcome. And she's freezing just a tiny bit on me, so I don't know if that's me or what, but okay.
I'm okay. I can totally see you. So I'm good on my end. It's okay. I'm just honored, Raquel, that you actually invited me and that I am your first. I feel like the expectation is being set. Like
setting it very high.
But thank you so much. Thank you, Shred. Thank you, Josh. Thank you.
And she froze. She froze looking like she had a taco in her mouth. But speaking of tacos, so for those of you that don't really know Dalila, or maybe do, you know that she is a self-proclaimed taco expert. So what's fantastic about Dalila is that she started doing videos on Taco Tuesday of her eating tacos at a different restaurant.
And you, amiga, and I appreciate.
We're like on such a delay.
Hey, I just, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just talking about your Taco Tuesday because you froze and it looked like you were eating a taco.
That would happen, right? That would happen.
So I wanted you to talk about Taco Tuesday and how essentially that has become kind of like a brand of yours and people recognize you. And I think that's huge because tacos has nothing to do with the mortgage industry, but you managed to bring them together. So tell me how that all came about.
So it's been 2 years now. Taco Tuesday Talks with Dalila has been over 2 years. And I'm very happy that I took the leap of faith and did that, right? So I wanted to set myself apart in the industry. My career was growing and I wanted to just be different, right? So I talked to my best friend who's a realtor. He has, Sean with his
I just saw one of his videos on Instagram today where he was jumping like so funny.
So it was over 2 years ago. I remember exactly where I was at. And he was like, just combine what you love with mortgage. And I actually dabbled. I touched on that yesterday's taco video, something that you love and just add mortgage. And so I thought about it for I remember, so I get my best ideas in the shower for whatever reason.
Oh my gosh, me too. I do as well.
I get my best ideas in the shower. So I remember showering, all of a sudden it came. It was like just one of those moments. And there's where Taco Tuesday Talks with Dalila came. And it was one of the best decisions I've ever made, Raquel, because it happened right before all this pandemic. And so that helped me keep motivated, keep going, keeping the relationships up. And 2 years later, here we are. And I get, when I go to conferences, I get events, people know who I am. And it's such an honor. It really is, all over tacos.
I love it. And I love that you and I have actually met in person. So this is, that's why you and I have a great connection and rapport and chemistry, because we've met in person, we've hung out, we've really built a personal friendship and relationship. So just to see the evolution of it has been great because I feel like I've kind of had that evolution myself with it when it comes to my brand. Is just, what am I passionate about? I'm kind of passionate about being silly and laughing and making other people laugh.
Yeah.
Kind of also that's lended itself into my brand and the industry. But I wanted to quickly just like say hi to some of the folks that jumped on. So Denora, she's a really good friend of mine too. And then I don't know Carly, but I love that she's like, roll with the challenges, ladies. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at that.
Yeah. So I love, yeah, that's the thing. This is our first time. This is our first go. It's going to evolve as well. And yes, Daniel, he's so great. But as far as, you know, the tacos, a brand and everything, I want to kind of lead into, because we talked about how, or the title is Stereotypes and Tacos. And I'm sure some people are like, how does that make sense? It does, because you're a taco lady. That's not your stereotypical, you know, woman in mortgage. And you and I had a conversation a couple days ago, and you shared with me some kind of funny stories of people just being shocked when you tell them that you're in the industry. And I think that's something that a lot of us women deal with.
Yeah, no, I do. So we got into the topic because our conversations, whatever we talk about, sometimes it's personal, family, you name it. You and I have some conversations, but I told you it's happening. It happens often, to be honest with you. So when I'm traveling and when I'm at events, I mean, let's just say somebody doesn't know me, especially it happens on the plane or when I'm boarding a plane. And I'm casual. I like to travel comfortable. I'm not like in my pajamas or anything like that, but I'm usually sometimes in like a t-shirt and jeans and my Chucks, right? I'm a big Chucks girl.
I would say yeah, that's another part of your brand.
And so when I go, and sometimes, you know, thank God the companies that I worked for, if it's a long trip from like Florida to Orlando, I'll sometimes, you know, upgrade to the economy plus. But for the most part, I'm a Southwest girl, right? But so depending who I'm sitting by, they'll ask me where I'm going, and I'll tell them, and they'll ask me what do I do, or they'll even ask me like my title. And I don't say taco expert, right? They'll be like, "What the hell is this chick? What's wrong with her?" Right? Oh. Yeah, like, so I tell them my title, right? And so I could see the look on their face. They're like, "Wow, you really? Hey, Suha." And I sometimes, you know, I am. I am the VP of diversity and growth for a mortgage company that's headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. And they are just kind of a little taken back. I don't know if it's maybe age or the way I look, because I definitely have a different look to me. But yeah, I get that a lot. And I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Like, I just kind of take it. I give them grace. I laugh, or I ask them, "Do you have any questions?" I've been in the industry since 2001.
Like, hey, are you looking to buy a house? Finance?
But I just, you know, at that whatever the reaction is, I just go with it. I never take any offense. I don't get offended. I don't get angry. I give them grace, and I just keep it moving. And it happens. I'll even, I struggled to tell you I struggled. Screw it. I'm going to say it. So recently at a conference in San Diego, just in October that just passed, before the session started, I went upstairs to go get coffee and something to eat. And an attendee handed me their plate.
Wow, Dalila, that's intense.
Yeah, they handed me the plate. I'm sorry, what?
Well, how did you respond?
I took it and I put it on the thing. What was I going to do? Like,
you're like, you can tip me later.
Like, I happened to be standing right by, you know, the trays that right before the entrance, you put the coffee and everybody does that. And, you know, it's okay. It's okay. You know why? Because the staff and the people that handle the events and put them together, the real hard workers, I don't care. Those are my people. Yeah. Those are my people. I never, no matter where the good Lord takes me in my career, I want to make sure that I never I never go there. I never think that I'm too above that. I always want to be with people that are still in the mix, boots on the ground, that really are what make the company run, right?
Yeah.
And so
That's
it's
so
okay.
important. But I feel like that's important just even across the mortgage industry right now. Because if you think about it, people that are buying homes are super diverse. I mean, all ages, all ethnicities, everything, right? So it's like the same thing with the industry, and that's what's so great about this, and that's why I love that we're doing the show, is because you know what? There's a lot of women in this industry. There's a lot of women that are buying homes, that are becoming homeowners more so, I think, now than ever, single women, divorcees, everything. And so we have to kind of be able to appeal in a way and understand and relate. And the only way to do that is to showcase who we are and our personality, and the fact that you are someone that comes out with your tacos, you come out with your faith, and that's okay too, right?
Yes.
You're also very unapologetic about your faith.
I am not. Yeah.
And I love that, because there's going to be certain people that really connect with that. And that's great. We don't have to be able to connect with everyone. And so that's why it's important that we have so many, different people in the industry that are helping, so that, that we can go ahead and literally help every single person possible. Period.
I agree. And I'm not like we mentioned when we were talking the other day, you're not everyone's cup of tea. I am not everyone's cup of tea. It's okay. But you are going to respect me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like you are going to
be there no matter what. Yeah.
That's one thing. I don't have to, we don't have to agree on everything. You are absolutely right. I am vocal and bold with my faith, not only personally in my life, but in my career. It's part of my makeup and who I am. And I'm not going to be, like you said, apologetic about it. So if that's not your jam, then,
Yes. And I think that's what's important, is that we own who we are.
Yep.
And we own the fact that, like, it's not everyone's going to appeal to it. And that's okay.
That's fine, but for the most part, I really am truly in my videos. Like, I don't know if you saw it. I got a bee, like in the first, like 20 seconds of my video, a bee came at me with my taco. I'm like, this, because I only had one taco and I got like a tub of guac because I'm a skinny cow, right? And so like, and so I'm like, oh man, in my head, I'm thinking, if I lose this taco, like I'm going to stay hungry and then I won't have a prop for my video, so, but it kept it going. Hey, Michael, I kept it going. And that really is who I am, because in life, nothing's ever planned, right? Nothing's perfect. You just, your response, how you respond, and you keep it going, you keep it moving. And that's life. And I think that's one of the reasons why people do watch Taco Tuesday, because I only do one take, by the way, Raquel.
I know you're a one taker. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, I only do one.
Real.
Yeah. And sometimes I mean, the camera has fallen. Food has fallen.
I think you might have had cilantro in your teeth, just saying.
But it's okay. I just keep it moving, because I want people to know that I'm not perfect, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to be polished. My imperfections, I want them to come out, because I'm a real person.
And that's the stereotype, right? That, like, if you're in the mortgage industry, you have to be polished. You have to look a certain way. And that's not the case anymore. Maybe back in the day, but now we're evolving.
Yeah.
We have to adapt with everything that's going on. And so that whole part of the perfectionism, having to play a certain part, look this part, I think that literally needs to, like, fly out the window, really.
No,
and
it's and you know what, that being looking certain way, having different uniquenesses about each other, that's going to attract not only our overall homeownership clientele, which is completely different now than 10, 15, 20 years ago, right? Especially where you live, in which market you live in, right? But just as a whole, remember 75% of the people coming into the workforce are millennials, starting in like 2024, 2025, 75%. You and I are Gen X's, so we're old, right?
Hey, who are you calling old?
You know, I don't, and they have a different perspective, right? They look different. The way their work style and ethic is different. Skinny cow.
Christina's great, by the way. She's,
you know, and Josh said it, perfection kills progress, right?
Like, but that's why that's why I love you, and I love so many women that are doing what you're doing, that we're just being ourselves and showing that we aren't perfect. Because I will tell you this, I had a conversation this morning with one of my mentees, and she is 15 or 16 years old. Okay. And we were messaging back and forth, and she was talking about how she really feels all this pressure to have her college resume perfect, and that she has to have done all these clubs and volunteered here and there. And she was just like so overwhelmed. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like, what are we doing to our kids that we are putting this pressure? And I told her, I said, sweetie, I was like, listen, I'm 46 and I'm still trying to figure out my life. I'm still making mistakes. I'm still like going, figuring out the process. So the fact that you at age 15, 16 feel like you should already have your act together, I said, there's something going on here as a world society. We're not doing a good job of letting our kids know, like, hey, she still has so many freaking decades to figure stuff out. And it just made me sad that she was feeling that pressure, and she was putting that pressure on herself. And so that's why I feel that it's our duty, it's our responsibility to really put ourselves out there in a way where our young, women, ladies, men, everything that that they see, like, okay, you know what? Life isn't perfect.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. Again, another reason why I make it a point to do the one take on the videos, Raquel, to you and I talked about just physically. I have imperfections, right?
Well, and I love that you're being more open about it too, because let's be honest about it. In the beginning, and I've known you for several years now, you were a little hesitant, right? Yeah. Because you kind of were like, I'm going to be sharing so much. That's like a very personal story. But the fact that like you're getting more comfortable doing that, it also shows that the more we kind of do put ourselves out there and are a little bit more vulnerable, it gets easier. And then we realize that we can trust the people in our community, our network, our friends. And so I feel like you feel like we've all embraced you as Dalila. So now you feel more comfortable sharing your arm, because before you said you used to cover it all the time, right?
Yeah, I do. So
share a little bit about it.
So I'll really quickly do this. So at age 4, I was, and part of it is just dark. Like, it's okay to talk about it, but in the beginning it's dark. Some people don't like to hear about that. So at age 4, I was in a fire in 1984. So at that time, 40% of my body is completely burned. And you can't think, it didn't touch my face, but as I grew, obviously, hey, Fabi, as I grew, it became less. So I'm about 30%. But yeah, so on top of that, I was in a fire. So 40%, 30% of my body is completely burnt, right? Yeah. Today, as we're talking. And so then 12 years later, I get diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. And so I lost one of my humeruses, rotator cuff, part of my clavicle. So I'm like put together. I got to keep my arm though, because they were going to amputate it. I don't have a rotator cuff. It sucks to go through the airport sometimes, even with clear.
I didn't even think about that. You poor thing. Oh gosh.
No. So this is like, so again, I'm not perfect, right? So one of the TSA agents recently in Chicago was like, she's like, you don't have a rotator cuff. And I don't think they know like anatomy, right? No, does it? I can't see it. So they don't know anatomy, right? She's like, well, show me. And I'm like, I can't show you. My arm doesn't go up. Like, what is in the middle, in front of everyone? She was like, show me your arm can't go up. And I'm like, how do I show her? You know,
How do you, you're like, it's, yeah, like, are you grunting to like show her that you're putting the effort into trying to lift it, but it doesn't lift?
But the thing was, she caught herself within seconds. She was like,
Okay.
oh. And so I looked at her and I was like, it's girl, it's okay. It's okay. But you know,
laugh about it.
yeah, no, I'm like, it's okay. She's like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, it's okay. And so she let me through, and I could tell she was embarrassed a little bit. You know, again, I show grace and you keep it moving. But yeah, I did. Now I'm a little bit more open. I don't mind people. I've had people like, you know, want to touch it, my arm. So it kind of just stays there. It's like a little dinosaur arm, you know, it doesn't really.
Yeah. You have what is it? What do they call it? T-Rex arms?
I am. That's why I love dinosaurs, because they're like me, you know, like
I know, but that's the thing is like really we have to be able to laugh about it, still smile. And once again, like you're a great example of someone that has gone through some really heavy stuff and a struggle. But the fact that you have this amazing attitude on life and you're such a kind and compassionate and generous human being, like that's why you're one of my people. Like, you know, the fact that when you and I met, and for me to have you on my show as the first person was really important to me, because you're the real deal. And for me, I want to be surrounded by people like that, and I want to showcase people like that. And especially in this industry, it's so important to be able to share that we are multidimensional as women, and not have it affect our business. If anything, I feel like all of this has helped you. I know it's helped me in my business, sharing and being really transparent. So that's why, you know, and Suha, she's in the chat. She's going to be my guest next week. And I hope, Suha, I hope you're prepared to kind of also share some things that not many of us know. Like, I want this to be a platform for the women to feel comfortable enough to be like, hey, this is who I am.
And it's important because as the younger generations start coming in, I know I check a lot of boxes, right? I'm a woman, I'm a minority, very minimal college education. I'm, according to like standards, I have a disability, or, you know, I don't even claim that. But, you know, I have things. And so I want younger women, younger ladies to be like, look, she's out there, she's doing her thing, she's growing to her career after everything. If she can do it, I can do it. That's why it's so important to me. I've had so many people say, hey, you know, nowadays with technology, we can help you remove some of the scars. Absolutely not. I actually want, I've had quite a few doctors tell me, oh, you know, we can help you. We can give you another, maybe a potential rotator cuff. We can minimize the scarring and everything like that. And I say no, because at this point in my life, number one, I've been like this since I was 4 years old. I don't remember. There's not a time in my head that I don't remember looking different. I don't remember how I looked like. I've just always been like this, right? Different. But I just want to be able, look, if you can overcome this, you know, you can handle anything. Like, I feel like anything that comes my way, as long as I have the good Lord on my side, I can do anything, right? You know, put people in headlocks, be a dinosaur, eat tacos, like it doesn't matter. You know,
put people in homes. And I mean, and that's the thing too, is like you've been really successful with you know, real estate as well. And I mean, I love that you've already had kind of multiple properties, right, that you've invested in.
I do. I have a few properties. I have 2 in Chicago. I have my houses in Florida. That's where I live right now, is in Orlando, Florida. But I have multiple properties, and it's important for me for that. You know, again, I'm single. I'm a woman of color, a single mom. And if I can do it and know how to play, you know, the mortgage game, I want to share the mortgage gospel, like us ladies, you know, hey, you don't.
I love that. Share the mortgage gospel.
The mortgage gospel. Yeah, because like there's no secret sauce, you guys. There's no secret sauce to it. I want to be able to share that because there's so much power in having home ownership, power in properties, right? There's so much power. And once you have that, it is a game changer.
It is a game changer. Yeah, because I bought my own property for the first time. I mean, yeah, I was married, but I was on the title deed mortgage of the home. I didn't know better. Then I got divorced and I was in an apartment, and I was very blessed to be able to buy a condo 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And it was a game changer. The sense of like empowerment that I felt, and like a home, like this is an investment. Like I have, you know, there's equity in my home. If something, God forbid, goes wrong, like at least I have something to go to, you know, all of those things. And I think once again, for whatever reason, the mortgage industry has this kind of like stereotype, narrative, stigma around it. And I want us to shed it and shred it.
Yes.
All of it, you know, because I want everyone to realize that they can have, you know, the American dream.
Yeah. And that goes back, you know, to the title, Stereotypes, right? This is like recently, this was like last year. I was invited to speak for something, and the company at that time I was working for was like, well, I don't know if she's a good representation. And actually, thank God someone they said, we don't know if Dalilah's a good representation. And somebody else spoke up, was like, you know, Dalila like owns multiple homes and is an investor. And yeah, I mean, I've had things like that happen. They had no clue. I'm like, I own multiple properties. I went to one time lease a car, like again, a couple of years ago. And the lady told me at the dealership, she's like, I've never seen someone with your credit score before as a woman. To my face.
See, people, this is what I'm talking about. Like
that's what I was like, and you know what? There's a lot of us. That's what kills me. Is like there really is.
Well, and I think I told you too. Anytime I mention that I went to UCLA, they're like, whoa, you know, being it's a top university in the country. I'm like, right. I'm smart too. You know, I'm not just a pretty face.
It's like you know, but again, you know, it's our job. I know it's something that's on my heart, that the good Lord put in my heart. I have to continue to spread the mortgage gospel, like I like to call it, and let ladies know, hey, there's power in home ownership. If I can do it, you can do it. And I don't like to keep that to myself. And on top of that, I also like to open doors for other women, or not just women, but younger generations to come into our industry. That's really important, because as we continue to grow in our careers and let's be real, like get older, who's got to come in and take over, right? And so we're really lacking as an industry as a whole in that space. We're not attractive. Some of these students don't know how amazing our industry is. And we're right now what's holding up the economy. So,
well, we're going to change that. And I'm hoping that this show is a catalyst for it. And I'm hoping that anybody that, you know, was already on the live, thank you for everyone that, you know, was in the comments and showing up. But hopefully, you know, obviously this will be recorded, keep streaming. But I really, truly hope that this inspires a lot of people out there that have no clue. And not only that, for people that maybe colleagues of yours or people that have known you for years that had no idea about, you know, some things about you. Like that's the thing. I want people to learn, you know, more and more about these, you know, phenomenal women in the industry. So, on that note, I'm going to wrap it up because I'm trying to keep it at 30 minutes. But next week we have Suha, and she's in the comments too. Thank you, Suha. So we'll get to hear some of her. So I'm excited because I really feel like this could be make such an impact, and that's what it's all about. Like I know you and I are really about making a positive impact
absolutely
in the world and leaving at least some kind of legacy behind. So
Yes,
Appreciate
absolutely.
it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I wish you the best. And I will be tuning in next week, Wednesday, when Suha's on.
Perfect. All right. And thanks again to everyone. And I will see all of you next Wednesday.
Yes.
Women
Take
That
care.
Shred. Woo, woo.
Woo, woo.